My name is Eric Chesser, and welcome to Shedtour, a video series dedicated to getting outdoors, spending time with old friends, making new ones, but more than anything, searching for these things: shed antlers. I started shed hunting as a teenager over 25 years ago. It's my favorite thing to do outdoors, and still to this day, I'm just as excited to find an antler as I was back then.
I had a heart attack. Like, I'm in shock. We're finding
Sit back and enjoy another episode of the Shedtour.
It has only taken me, I just looked at my Onyx, I have traveled a total of 14 miles on my feet. And I can say that I finally feel like I might just be on the board. We just dropped into our second location. That first spot we dropped into, everyone except for Logan got their butts kicked. I found a section of a horn. Now I get closer to this. It's not as new as I thought, but I will take it. I don't even care. But 14 miles to find one beat up old shed. Oh well, I'm counting it. I was so excited to see it. Here it is. I don't know, not a hard bite. It's been chewed up pretty good. It has been chewed up pretty good. I bet that's only 2 years old though. I mean, there's small cracks in it, but no like big cracks. That one shed that Logan found, the giant, we know it's 3 years old just because Eric found the other side 3 years ago. And so this is probably 2 years old, just been sitting in the sun. Doesn't have giant cracks by any means, but hey, am I a shed hunter yet? I don't think so, but getting closer anyway. This is for good luck. I've done this twice now. Maybe that first one I did. Probably good luck to find this guy, but I still need that good luck to find a brown. There it is. Stay safe, little guy. I'll take it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in a new spot. Dropping in. This spot is definitely a steeper hole than the first one. We all kind of split up and we're working, and there's this beautiful creek in the bottom. I'm not quite to the bottom. I'm probably 500 feet, 600 feet elevation higher. I'm just kind of paralleling, working to the spot. It sounds like Casey found a horn, which is super cool. It's gonna be like his first real horn he's found on this trip. And I'm walking down the hill, and sure enough, I found number 3, or what is that? I found the dinosaur, that one. I found number 4 and 5 of the trip, not including the Coos deer deadhead. It looked brown, but I think it was kicked over. And I looked back up the hill, and sure enough, there's the other one. Small bull, just a raghorn, but check it out. But working down this game trail, and bam, look at that. A little chewed up, small 5-point. Oh, big spider. Look at this thing. I think it's last year's horn, but we'll pick it up. And then, actually, yeah, I think it's last year's horn. And then I was radioing Eric about it, and I looked over here, and bam, there's the other one. The other one looks kind of broke. Let's pick that one up first. Yeah, this guy's broken up good. Is this a different bull? Look at that. It's so brown. It might be, I don't know. I'm thinking last year. But there's that one. And there's that one down there. I'll probably, are these different bulls? No. Yeah. 2 different bulls. They were in here at one time. I gotta radio the guys. They were literally like 5 feet apart. Keep moving and maybe find the other ones. I don't know. I have my prescription glasses. If you guys didn't know, I don't see super well. So when I put these on, I'm like a shed hound. Slap these. Man, this is cranking this year. Slap these little guys on the pack, and we're still about a mile from where we're gonna all meet up. But that's cool. Found horns in the first zone. Found horns in the second zone. Heck yeah.
I glassed you up walking to it.
Oh yeah.
What?
Busted
Did a lot of
roll.
different faces, you know, here. But that one? Yeah.
Still brown on the inside, huh?
Yeah.
So kind of in the.
It did have cracks, but real small ones. So I was saying 2 years, just off our experience, you know.
Yeah.
Did you leave it?
I left it. I'll get in the tree. See.
Oh yeah. I'd say 2 year.
And chewed up though.
Chewed on. When you find them in the pondies like that, they'll get chewed on bad.
Watch what I put in the tree. That's 365 days of good luck. Ready? Bam. Boop. That's where it belongs.
Logan found 2.
Shut up.
2 lefts. That's probably one of the matches to one of his.
Could be, yeah.
It's matches to one of whose?
Logan's. He found 2 lefts. Hard whites.
Oh, one of those?
Is that one alright?
That was a right.
You know. That's how good I am at shed hunting. I'm just like, shed, cool. I don't even know what it is. Oh, sweet.
Oh man, we made it to where we're gonna camp. Now it's time to just
Relax.
see if we can't figure out where these dang elk are, man. They're low because they're not up there at all. It's gonna be interesting to see if we can find them or not.
What'd you find?
You guys know about gigantes?
You matched me up, dude. Thanks to you.
They're both left sides.
You brought me my match.
You got one too?
I left there.
I think, dude, that for sure there was last winter, there was a few bulls in that canyon. I think I glassed up another one way up high. It looked like just a beam and one tine. I didn't go get it. I took my time and looked around, filmed a water filtration segment that you guys will see. Rolled my ankle like 3 times.
Sick. That's some wet boots.
Yeah, look at them, dude.
My boots are a little wet as well.
They need to get by a fire. My toes are soggy.
Well, well, finally found an elk antler. Let me check Onyx today. It's only 2.5 miles, but nearly 3 hours. I'm in this steep stuff, checking on some country I've never hit. And I was just, ooh. Just walked right by that. A right and a left. So we have a matching set, most likely, but man, I'm a little late. Let's see. Nice inline 6. Really pretty left antler. The other side looks bigger. It's right below me. This is where I was when I spotted it. Down there in the brush. Gotta be a set, but man, that one. Yeah, big fronts. This one does look bigger. That's cool. Man, a little too late on this set. But that is a freaking giant. Holy cow, that side's a lot bigger. Dang. Been laying here for a while, haven't they? Man, this bull shed in some nasty, nasty stuff right here. I was just trying to drop some elevation, see if I can't find a track or two. Saw this one, didn't even realize it. Had already walked by the other one. So, good thing I looked back. Yeah, we'll have to pack those. That's all I've got for the day, so we're gonna count them. So 2 for the day. Yeah, walked right by this one. Literally. Oh man. Yeah, I don't think I'll be keeping those. Let's take it to the other side though. Huh, I think the other side's in better shape. Thing's still heavy. Too bad he's so old. That's a set I'd love to have in better condition, but 4 or 5 years too late. Pretty sweet bull, actually. Dang it. Burrs have been gnawed off. Didn't even have a big burr. Look at that little tiny thing. Man, too bad they weren't in better condition. I don't think I'm going to drag those around. They're still heavy. Oh man. What a cool bull. His fronts are like super close together. Nice bull. Beamy sucker. Good third on that right. Overall, just a good set. Too bad we weren't here sooner. Could have got them when they're in good condition maybe the first year I came in here, but apparently I didn't walk the right lines to get them, so these things will stay up here. I don't even think I want to pack them to camp. They're just going to be that much of an issue going through the brush, but cool set nonetheless. What would you guys do? Would you guys keep them, or would you leave them behind? I gotta leave these behind, guys. It's just not worth it, but it is a pretty sweet bull. Look at that. He is pretty cool. I wonder if my buddy Zach.
Was he pretty good friends with her?
Yeah, like we were all just friends. You know? Decided not to bring a tent and got rained on. Made it through the night, but I can't remember what day it is. But a storm has rolled in. We got fog up high and just kind of a drizzly rain here at camp, just enough to kind of get everything wet. Been studying my onyx and I'm undecided at the moment where to go. It's either up or down. So we're just going to sit here and try to wait out this storm. I think eventually we're just going to have to push through it. The bummer thing about it is it's hardly rain, but with as thick a brush as it is through here, as you just walk through the brush, you're going to get soaked. So I don't think any of us brought like really good rain gear tops, did you? So we might be getting wet today, but brown is down and there's antlers to be found, and I just want to find one.
And since my pad's so heavy or so wide, I don't think my neck gaiter would fit around it.
Probably not.
I was thinking I could fit it around my head though.
Yeah.
But
just strap the pillow to your
my
head.
head. Or you could do like a t-shirt around your pad.
It's just freaking back there with a
Dude, just right across your face, you cut a couple eye holes.
$1 million idea, dude.
Wake up just masked up.
Good morning, good afternoon, how are we? It is day number, don't know, on this trip, shed trip. We did just drop into our second location yesterday and got in here not super late, but Eric went out, looked around last night. We all kind of just licked our wounds. We had some wet boots and some sore feet, so we sat around the fire. But today's a new day. We got a little weather last night. It rained a little bit. It's supposed to rain a little bit today, but this cloud cover will be nice because it's nice hiking when it's not blazing. As you can tell, the sun got the best of my neck the last 3 days. If you could see Logan's, you'd even
Say more.
feel worse. Anyway, we have a plan, and that plan is just to do what these guys tell us to do, and that's to go that way. So we have today, part of tomorrow, and then we got to get out of here. We have to go do some other things. Like, I can't tell you yet, but you'll know. Can we tell him? Probably can tell him.
Yeah.
Guys,
This video
Giveaway.
live on the second.
this video is live, so hopefully if you haven't heard yet, we are doing another big giant giveaway. We are giving away this is by far the biggest giveaway we've ever done, but it makes me the most sad. We are giving away our brand new Can-Am Commander, and along with that, we are giving away my 2020 Chevy Trail Boss, and that truck has been by far the best truck I've ever owned in my whole entire life. But we are giving both those away in a package. You're going to have my beautiful silver Trail Boss, and behind it you're going to have a beautiful Can-Am side by side that's all decked out, and it's going to be an amazing prize for whoever wins. Whoever wins, I might
fly out and come out and just hang out in my truck every once in a while. Anyway,
Trailer included.
trailer included. If you guys don't know how to enter, all you have to do is go to our website, www.gethushin.com. Purchase anything. Every dollar spent is one entry into the hat to win the giveaway. Logan's hands are shaking, so we're gonna go.
Cold.
Bye.
Well, we are just struggling hard to figure out just where these bulls were living when they shed. This last snowstorm put down, I don't know, 5 or 6 inches, I bet. And we're finding tracks on top of the snow like this, and their poop on top of the snow. So you know it's in that range during their shed season. So we are just trying to figure out where. So we've got tracks on this side. Matty Ice had some tracks on his side, and I'm just gonna follow them up, try to figure out where they came from, and with that we might be able to find a brown or two. So here we go on the tracks. The next side over would be the sunny side. Heck, even that's all melted, so they could be in there. Well, I about stepped on this one. Just a little goose shed. These things are rare, so that's a keeper. That's a keeper. G2's been chewed up, but I don't think it was that long to begin with. Cute little guy. So, what's that, number 5 of the trip? I'm gonna toss that in the bag so I don't have to carry it, but we have all day today, so I figured with a full day I'd make what is probably the longest journey of the trip since we've got time. And this is all going to be strategy, guys, and I have no clue what to expect. I don't even expect to find a brown where I'm headed. But Matt and I went into this zone, I think it was last year. We both found big singles that were probably 2 or 3 years old. I found a hard white set, and there was track. So I really feel that last year there was browns. This year they'll be hard white because we didn't find them. So I'm going in where I was, and I just have a plan to zigzag tight lines all the way down this one ridge. And fingers crossed that we can find some matches. Fingers crossed that we can at least find some hard whites from last year, because I know for a fact that some bulls shed in here. So let's get this in the pack and carry on. The guys are right behind me somewhere, so I'll catch them on the radio, and we're going to work some of this low country.
Well, guys, you have not seen much of me this episode, and it is not due to a lack of effort. This has not been my week shed hunting, but just hiking over to a new zone, just glassed down, and found a bomber coos deer shed. So I got to drop quite a bit of elevation, almost to it, get the pickup for you guys. Pretty stoked. This is my second coos deer shed ever. Here's the pickup. Sweet coos buck. Whoa. It's old, but we'll take it. Looks like it got kicked over at some point because it's shock on both sides. But it being a coos deer shed, I'm gonna pick it up and take it with me. If I'm lucky, maybe I'll find the other side.
Boys and girls, folks at home, oh my gosh, you can tell by my face, I'm excited. I am on, everyone had a strategic plan this morning. We were all gonna kind of go pound one area, and we were all headed there, and then I just got a wild hair like I normally do, and started on my own path. But look at, I just found. I wasn't on any fresh sign, which I wasn't gonna find any browns, but look what I just saw. I just looked up and saw those. Finally, it's a good one, a better one. Dude, that is like, you remember Easter morning and having the Easter egg hunt and looking through the tall grass and seeing the golden egg. I don't think this is a golden egg. I think it's probably pretty old, but for me it's a golden egg because it's been so long. Not a giant by any means, but it will do. It will do. I will take it. I think I'm supposed to set up the camera and do like a pickup shot or something. Wow, it's probably been kind of like adding up miles in between sheds. When I found 2 sheds that were small, they were decent. I was happy. But to find finally a 6-point, I bet you I'm 15 miles deep on my feet so far. I'm just seeing my eyes are always just looking now because I think there could be the match. I don't even know if I'm gonna pack it out, but I'm pretty stoked. He's probably 3 years old now. Kind of a cool back end on him. Heck yeah. Look at this funky little Comadina thing. Woo! That is like, not like weight off your shoulder, but it's just like finally like, oh, okay. Gives you a little hope that you can find something. I'm a terrible shed hunter, but that is makes it all worth it, dude. Yeah, this thing's, I'd say chalk. I don't know, we're comparing everything off that one big set that Logie found a couple days ago, and we know how old it is because Eric found the other side. This looks very similar to it. Has some pink on it. Has a little bit of cracks. They're not too wide, but that side's a little wider. That's how it was sitting, so heck yeah, look at this blade up front. Burr, you guys show the burr. Dang, I wish I brought a saw. I would just chop the burr off and take it with me. Heck yeah. Are we gonna try to match them up? Let's try to match them up. On the board. This lighting, not so great. There we go, on the board.
We're in it. Me and Matt had a sweet photo session of our new sun shirts down at the creek, and we all bailed off, and I am in some of the steepest, thickest stuff I've been in yet, like completely vertical, like very, very careful with each step. I kicked a rock and it rolled all the way down. I'm probably 800 feet above the stream, and it rolled dang near all the way to the bottom. But this is the most sign I've been in so far. Check it out. Been following this group of tracks up. You can see them in the snow. Obviously some scat there on top of the snow. But look at this. Just vertical. These bulls are crazy. Past several rubs. A lot of these tracks look like 4 days max. And so we're just gonna, Eric's way over there. Matt is working his way over there. Casey, I think, is on that side. I'm just gonna keep working this. There is a brown in here. And this would be one of the coolest places to find it because literally, like, I have to stab my trekking pole into the ground and kind of lean on it when I'm glassing. But this is rad. If I could find a brown in here, holy cow, that would be amazing. We're just gonna keep working up and over that guy and drop in over there, but we're on a hot trail. Walking up this gnarly trail, about to bench off up here. Walking like this, look to my right. Bam, right on the edge of a freaking cliff. Look at that thing. That's pretty wild. See, the sign is here, man. The sign is here. Look at this. Look at these rubs. These sticks broken off. And some more right there. And look down. It's a chalker. But she was a 6-point or a 5-point at one point of her life. Literally right on the edge of a giant cliff.
Well, I just turned the corner right here. I actually just had my Onyx to finally mark some fresh elk tracks, which I'm stoked on. Not seeing much fresh sign, but turned the corner and saw this. Just kind of walking right here. Pull my head up and there's a nice elk shed. A little old. A little too late again. What does that make? Number 6. Oh man, it's in there. Yeah, that one's old too, dang it. 6 years old. Heavy sucker. He's got some mass. But another one we're gonna leave behind, guys. This stuff like this right here, that'll just slow you down as you're trying to walk through the brush, keep you from finding your next big one. So I'm gonna toss it, leave it right here. Holy cow, I earned this one. I told you guys back there I dropped a pin because I started seeing some fresh elk sign, and I got right here. Spotted my first brown elk shed of the year. It's a left side, and we are in a freaking crappy side hill full of brush. So hopefully we can find the other side. But let me show you what I saw right through here. So I made my journey through this brush, pushed through this, standing right here, and looked through this tree, and I could see tines down a big old brown elk shed right there. Guys, I needed that bad, and to find it in this hole is pretty rewarding just because this stuff is so thick. So I'm gonna try like heck to match that up. Well, there's no doubt they've been here. It was the first fresh elk sign that I saw that I marked up there, and sure enough, right in the bed, a big old chocolate brown. Whew, look at that. Holy cow, that's cool. So he shed right here. Look at all the blood. Look at all that blood right there. So he was here. This is an elk bed. Come up here, and this is another bed. Looks like bull laid here and pissed right there, but what a beautiful sight, and to find it up here where I didn't think we would. A brown anyways. Feels good. Heck yeah, guys, we needed that bad. Look at his bed. We needed that bad. So they're down here. First time getting my hands on a brown for the 2023 Shedtour season. Oh yeah. Just a gorgeous, very typical 6-point chocolate brown, living way down here. So he shed this thing right out of his bed. There's tracks that go that way and tracks that come up I showed you guys. So we're gonna do some work here. We're gonna find the match to this eventually, and hopefully there's some other bulls in here. But pretty stoked for the first brown of the year. A really nice chocolate dark 6-point. I'm gonna leave it here, and I'm gonna ditch the backpack, just take the Onyx and do some lines real quick right here. It's funny because as soon as the grass started to open up and the brush started to open up a little bit, that's when I started seeing elk track. So they're just living down here low where they got some good feed, and they're not just pushing through all the brush like above. But that's a pretty sweet one, guys. I'm stoked. Well, another one we're a little too late for. They were definitely in here years ago. Is that number 8? Whoa. Just trying to match up the brown. I'm on these elk tracks right here. Go down. And this guy was right on their trail. I think that's number 8. We're gonna set it right there. See ya. You gotta follow these tracks, figure out where these elk came from. There's at least 2 or 3 bulls that we got sheds to find in here, somewhere in this mess. Well, I think we got another one that we're just a little too late for. This might be the match to the one I just found right here. I was following those elk tracks and they came up on this side. Decided I better go figure it out. And this was slain here. Oh, is that number 9? I think that's the other side. Huh. They were in here a while ago. They're in here this year, but so far just one brown 6. But if we keep working this thick stuff, we might be able to pull out a couple more good ones. Well, still doing lines. Came down to the bottom of this drainage and figured I'd walk up it because I've been zigzagging, missing a lot of it, and I'm glad I did. I got another shed right up here. Hopefully it's in better condition than the chalks. I don't think it's brown.
It's chewed up pretty good. That one's not bad.
Well, it's in better condition than the other one, so I think we'll add that one to the pack. 2-year-old antler. Living down here. Just need to find more brown and hard white. I think I'm going to finish out walking that bottom up to my pack, get some food and water, and decide where to go next. But hey, we're in them. That's awesome.
You,
Sides in here somewhere.
you got them.
Mad ice, dude.
You're just finding all of them, huh?
I'm in them. You're on tracks?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're right here somewhere. My brown is just on the side here, right there.
I forgot how thick this stuff is.
Yeah, it's a mess. Ooh. Nice goose shed, dude.
Pretty sweet, huh?
Yeah. Heck yeah. All knobby. I'm thirsty. Look at the poop.
I know.
That's where they're at, dude.
This is where they want to be. My feet got soaked. I slipped in the river.
Right here?
No.
Hey. All the lines paid off, guys. I hit the side that I had the brown on, and I zigzagged that quite a bit. I just met up with Matty Ice, who is right down at the bottom of this. And there's trail where Matt is coming up the hill. And I told him, I'm like, well, I'm going to go up the creek bottom and then traverse over. And look what's right there. I think it's the other side. Let's go check it out. So Matt's down here, and these tracks went up this spine, and I went up the bottom and making my loop back down to Matty Ice. That's definitely him. Definitely him. Pile of poop right underneath his burr. It's all palmated over here. Yeah, straight 6, man. What a pretty bull. Look at that chocolate brown. Now where are the other bulls he's hanging with? This track right here. Got blood on the base. These tracks come from the creek, and then there's a big trail right here, so I'm gonna have to hit that. Go see if we can't find some more, but feels good to match them up. I don't want to leave here without it. Dang, first brown set of 23. Got both sides. Matty didn't know it, but if he would have not stopped for a snack, he probably would have picked this up. But we figured we'd hit this side hill together somehow strategically, and I just made one line because I was bored. I was going to go back down to Matt and then get my pack and eat some snacks with him, and got lucky. That's all it takes sometimes. Right place, right time.
That's what an elk shed looks like, huh?
There's one brown set in here at least. You'd think with these tracks there'd be some more. Dark chocolate. Even the poop is dried out right here. Hey, he's kind of webbed out up there. Man, this thing is dark. The other side is about the same. They both have blood on the base. That's pretty sweet. It's got a bunch of hair here. Chocolate brown, man. What a first set to find out here. This low canyon Matt and I hit last year. The only antlers we haven't found out of here are what would be last year's brown, so they'll be hard white this year. I know there was at least 2 bulls in here last year, so there's at least got to be another brown set in here, I would think too, but it's just super thick, some of the thickest stuff. So we're going to keep looking right here, go get our packs, eat some snacks, and hope to find some more, but it's going to be tough in this stuff for browns anyways. But there's at least 2 or 3 bulls in here. If we keep looking, we might find them.
Well, I finally found an elk shed today. Just about a couple decades too late.
Well, figured before we throw them on the backpack, put them together for you guys. There he is. Really, really cool 6-point. Very symmetrical. Good looking bull, nothing crazy, but first brown set of the year. I'm pretty stoked. My day is made. I'm packing these 3, and like I said, if we're lucky we can find another keeper or 2, but even without that, I'm happy.
All right, you guys, well, we made it up the steep stuff, zigging and zagging. Could hear the other guys on the radio. Thought for sure, I was like, oh, they're way over there. I thought Casey, Eric, and Matt were all the way over there. Zigging and zagging, get up to this knoll where it's like flat. Like, oh, this looks like a cool spot. Lots of sign. I'm not gonna bust out the big camera for this because it's not super amazing, I guess. But it is kind of amazing. So we get up on this knoll, I'm working back and forth, run into Casey, which was wild, talked to him for a while. I'm like, dude, I lost the elk sign. It's nothing but deer sign, like Coos deer sign. He's like, yeah, same. I think I'm gonna go this way, drop down. I'm like, sweet, I'm just gonna keep zigging and zagging. Maybe find a Coos shed. I don't know. Wouldn't you have it? I just found from like 40 yards away, I looked up and saw 2 tines sticking up. This is a wild looking shed, but this is my very first ever Coos shed, so check it out. Just mobbing up here, boop, boop, boop. And then right there, in that little shadow, I look up and bam. I can't tell if it's a hard white or 2 years old, but check this thing out. Look at this little guy. It's got like these crazy little shark teeth points, or maybe he's missing a point there. Look at that. Oh, dude, look at that. Gnarly little bug holes. That's not a bad shed. I think that's from 2 years maybe. Cool buck though. Let me set my phone up and hold it up. We're elk shed hunting, but I'm gonna pack this little guy home. This thing's pretty sweet. Check that out. Coos shed. It would have grown like a sweet point here, but he's got all of this crazy little holes going on. Cool freaking buck. Look at that thing. Still brown underneath. Might be some more in here. I might be Coos shed hunting. Look at this little shark tooth. Cool beam. Kind of bubbles up down here from whatever caused those gnarly holes. But that's sweet. On this bull track, this is now Coos Tour 2023. That looks like a good one. Let's go pick it up. Check this out, man. That's a hard white. Is it, or is it chalk? That's a good antler. I think it's a keeper. Check that out. Hard white, I'll keep it. These little things are cool. Check that thing out. You know what's cooler than packing out brown, big, heavy elk sheds? Coos sheds. I bet you I could have 15 of these and they wouldn't weigh as much as that brown elk antler. Look at this. Got some crazy little, I don't think it's a match. That's a good buck though. I don't know much about Coos deer. I've hunted them a couple of times, but it's a decent buck. Just found another Coos shed. Thought I'd bust the camera out real quick. This was the first one I found right here. Cool freaking little shark tooth holes. Sweet burr, knobby base. Then this is the one I just picked up. Matched him up. Heck yeah, I didn't think it'd be possible. I'm honestly trying to find elk sheds. Wasn't even like really trying to match them up, but how cool is that? That's a solid buck. Not a bad Coos deer. Like I said, this is now Coos Tour 2023. Match sets, ladies and gents. Look at that.
Well, been about another couple miles since I talked to you guys last, and just getting to the top of this ridge. Gonna work it towards camp and just came around. Found that thing. Looks like a pretty sweet Coos deadhead. No elk sheds for me so far today. Well, that one chalky base, but just walked up on this thing. It looks pretty sweet. Nice tall Coos buck. It's super chalky. This thing's gonna stay up here. Fingers crossed I can find something good on the way out. Well, just got the find of the trip. Look at this thing. That is tiny. I don't know how in the world I have found more deer sheds than elk sheds today. They're right in my pocket.
Oh, I just tried to cross the creek, and as you can see, I fell in. I was like, all right, I'm done. It's about 4 o'clock, about 2 miles from camp. I'm headed to the camp to like beeline it. Straightest point from A to B. That's what I was doing. I was just gonna climb up over this ridge and drop down to camp. And oh my goodness, guys, you would not believe it. Look at this. Can you see it? I was just walking up here and just walked around this thing. They exist. They really exist. A brown antler out in the middle of this crap. The rocks. Oh, probably like 20 something miles in to find, 20 miles total, I should say, to find my first brown shed. And look at it. Sure enough, fresh elk tracks. I said that earlier. You're not going to find a brown elk shed unless there's fresh elk tracks, since they just shed not too long ago. Not a giant by any means, but it's brown, and we're gonna take it. Check it out. Man, it's good to find one of those. Now I'm like, oh, let's see if we can match this up. I don't know. Finally gonna strap one down to my backpack. Yes!
Well, headed back to camp, and I came off this snowy face, and surprisingly there's tracks in the snow, tracks in the mud. So I'm pretty excited about maybe finding a brown elk shed right here. But I just looked down and spotted a deadhead. It is an absolute giant Coues deer deadhead down there. I'm gonna go snag it, guys. The thing is big. Look at that thing right there. Big old typical frame on him. Looks like he's got a little something coming off the base, like a little extra by the eye guard, but big old bladed eye guards and a huge typical frame. Let's go snag it. Sheesh. Oh, heck yeah. Oh, look at that. Those eye guards. Big old buck. Sweet. That's a keeper for sure. Man, am I getting quite the collection of food here. Look at the eye guards on that thing. What a stud. Oh yeah. Look at that bomber. Whew. Stud buck. Man, look at those eye guards. That's a keeper for sure. He's in good condition up here in these trees. Yeah, we're gonna throw that on the pack. Take that. Absolutely, dang keeper. Man, I love these little Coues bucks, guys. They are so much fun to find. Easy to pack. I think this is definitely one of the biggest framed deadheads I've found. Just with those monster eye guards. Good beams all around. A sweet buck. So let's throw this on the pack and then keep hiking. I'm seeing more elk sign right through here than I have anywhere that's pretty dang fresh. So we're gonna walk this side hill, see if we can't get lucky. Man, they can blend in. I've been following these elk tracks. Stood right here. Bam. Holy cow. Almost walked right by that one. Pretty sweet shed. And it's not that old either. So these elk, they've really been working the side hill, but I am yet to find a brown. Look at that thing. Might be a year or two old. Pretty nice one. We're gonna need to strap that on. Huh. I think that's last year's. Look how brown it is on the inside. Stubby little thing, like a dropper front. Got a bunch of mud on it, but we're gonna strap that to the backpack. That's a sweet little bonus on our way to camp. Can't remember how many that is. I know we're double digits, guys. So we're off to a good start, just really struggling to find browns, but we'll take any one we can get, especially when they're dense.
Well, guys, I finally found my first decent elk shed of the day. The only crappy thing is I just bombed down this ridge behind me, clear down to the bottom, and I'm about 3/4 of the way up this side, and way across there. Anyways, guys, like I was saying, I came down higher up the canyon and across, and Eric came down lower and across. He was about down to the bottom of the canyon. He's a good sir and said that he'd turn around and go back up the canyon he just lost all the elevation from and pick up this side for me. He's a good dude. That saves me from dropping all this elevation to climb that elevation, drop it again, and climb this again. Shout out to you, Eric. Thanks, dog. But looks pretty good. Looks like a decent 6 point.
So I'm just out here minding my business, picking up all the sheds, and I'm just about to the river, and Matt calls me. Says, hey, have you crossed the river yet? No. Says, well, I've got a shed glassed up on your side if you want to go get it. So, whew. Matt's lucky he's got good buddies like me. I made a big push with,
down to your left at the touch.
With my backpack
Going straight.
and all my sheds, and just pushed over here to come get the shed, which is right below me. I just got my first glimpse of it. Copy, yep, I got it. Tines down.
You're the man, dude. You flew up that flipping mountain. I was looking way lower. You were almost the top.
Let's see what it is. I'm on it, buddy. I'm on it right here. Nice left side antler. Grass. Always looking for the other side. There it is. A rock just hit it. Ah, bummer. Little old, Matt. Little old.
Dang, it's not a fresh hard white, huh?
Nope, it's not. Probably a 3-year-old, maybe 2-year-old for sitting in the sun, but it might be the other side to my stubby one I have over there. Huh.
Heck yeah, dude. I appreciate it.
Well, it's hard enough. I think we'll take it back and take it to the pack and haul it up. Look, it's got a little friend. Hey, buddy, see ya. Mine's a right, yours is a left. This might be a set, the one I've got. Stubby like this, short points.
Well, I hope it's a set. That'll make me feel a lot better now that it's not hard white. But, yeah, I hope that's the other side to yours.
Okay, I'm gonna snag it and beeline it back, but I hope you wait for me.
Okay, did you ever see me?
Yeah, you're like across a little opening.
Okay, I'll hang tight here.
All right, let's take it. I think it's a match. Just more in the sun and getting beat up, but that's pretty sweet. There are tracks here, but I just don't know where they shed this year, those tracks. So head back to the pack and get the heck out of here. I think we do have a match. No, not a match, but they're both got this stubby back end. Go, might be a match. Just different fronts. Huh, we'll put them on the pack and we'll see when we get back, but I gotta hurry. I got a long ways to go to catch up to Matt.
That last push, dude, got me.
forgot to get water. Let's see, mine has.
That's the one I glassed up, guys, that Eric went over and got for me.
See, they're different, but mine has the same.
Oh, yeah, huh? Yeah, different bowls for sure, huh?
I guess.
Like their thirds are way different and their fronts are different. Yours is heavier.
Same genetic.
Wonder if it's just like another year off him or something.
Well, we just made it back to camp. Me and Logan did. Sounds like Matt and Eric are still out. Not too far away, but they're working their way back. But man, what a long day. I keep keeping up with how many miles in between sheds I've found. I think the average is around 9 miles in between the sheds I've found, which I've only found 4, I think, now. But I found this guy today. You! Brown! I made the goal when we came in here. Eric always wants everyone to have goals. I said, initially it was, I think, 6 browns. And then it went to 1 good set of browns. And then when we got to camp the first time, I said, 1 good brown will do me just right.
That's a great brown, dude.
Yeah, I'm stoked on it.
Future giant.
I mean, I'd literally just fallen in the creek. I had a plan to like work this side hill, tried to cross the creek, fell in, soaked my boots, water, immediately just that sound of water in your shoe. So I was like, I'm beelining it for camp. Started working my way up the ridge I was originally going to, and lo and behold, just walked upon this guy.
It's a gift.
I know. But man, if you're looking into doing some shed hunting, I said this earlier, don't make finding brown elk sheds the ultimate goal, the ultimate prize. Make the journey the prize. It's been fun. I think the hiking, the camping, just being out this early in the year has been amazing for me. And just, I think you got to look at the sheds as a cherry on top, or until you get really good. And then Eric's probably going to come back with a backpack of sheds.
You got into them.
Finally.
That's what I'm talking about.
I never had to work so hard for a brown set.
Woohoo! And a big Coos deadhead, dude. That thing's sweet. Heck yeah, buddy. Look at those, you guys.
Let's check the old Onyx. That was a push. Only a couple spots I really felt motivated. Onyx track. 7.75 miles, 9 hours.
Dang.
We'll save that one. Yeah, long ways over there, zigzag, long ways back, zigzag a little bit on the way back.
Did you, when you found that set, were you like in the sign?
I finally hit some sign, so I pulled out my Onyx. It was zigzagging down a hill, and I hit fresh sign, so I dropped a pin. My next zigzag right underneath my pin, brown.
No way.
And I zigzagged that hill, but I had noticed that they had crossed the ravine. And so I had Matt meet me. He met me right in the ravine. And I'm like, dude, you're in the zone. Keep an eye out for the brown. And he was eating a snack. So I'm like, I'm going to go do one line on the opposite side of the little creek bottom. Found the match right in front of Matt.
Dang, bro. Let's see those again.
They're chocolatey browns.
Yeah, buddy.
That's what I'm talking about.
The Coos is
The Coos is a stud, man. Guess who else found a brown?
Whoa, dude.
Found
You
a brown! Finally, dude. Took 3 days.
Heck yeah, dude. We got brown at camp. I didn't see it.
Dude.
Got this big light here.
Sorry.
You found a brown.
I found brown.
Like at the last bit or what?
Right after I talked to you, I went up the creek and stayed the right and then jumped over. So my plan was to work all the way up that ridge and then come down, jump over the creek and then work that. I went to jump over the creek on my way back and fell in. Water up to my knees. I'm like, screw it. I'm going to go up over the knob and down and back to camp. Started walking up that rock ledge, dude, and right there, boom.
Yeah.
200 yards out of the creek.
Made his goal, dude.
Dude,
Not
we
a
got
giant.
some browns. Heck yeah, we freaking earned those ones. Yeah, Logan just showed me his bomber Coos set. So now we got a deadhead and a set of sheds off 2 giant Coos deer.
Dude, that thing's a stud.
This is a 2-year-old.
That was your first one, right?
No, I had found a brown, and then on the way up to the second brown, I found this.
That's sweet.
So
man.
still dense and like dark, but starting to crack. And then the set, just chocolate brown.
Dang,
Not a giant, but just chocolate brown, cool.
Hold that bad boy up. Dude, that's rad.
Yeah.
That's a cool bull.
Heavy on the back.
Yes.
Yeah, he's bladed on that one side, huh?
Dude, I just can't believe I pulled a brown set out of there. I went there with just knowing there's got to be some hard whites and some chalks. Then I cut some tracks. I was like, ooh, there's an antler in here somewhere, and it was the next zigzag I found him.
That's rad, man.
Felt so good to match him up because I was not going to be going back there anytime soon.
Mateo!
What's happening?
What's up, buddy? How was your day?
It was long.
Long day?
It's a long day, guys.
Give me a spin.
I got one. One of those are Eric's, so don't get too stoked. And he picked the other one up for me as well.
Heck yeah, boys.
Wait, which one's which? No, this is the one Eric found. And this is the bull I glassed up. And Eric went over and got for me.
Bonus.
Bonus coos shed. And wait, dude, there's more.
But wait, there's more.
Look at this. Trophy coos shed.
Whoa. That's a mirror hanger, did you?
Got him.
Faster than a big elk shed. That's
Got him.
That's hard to see.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
He was just chilling.
I like how you pulled it out of your hip pocket.
Yeah.
That's like a laser pool.
I found a black diamond headlamp today, 5 years old.
Well, good morning, guys. This is the last day we have to do any hiking or shed hunting. And we've got to spend the second half of the day pulling out of here and getting back to the quads and getting to town so we can go take care of some other business. So I'm going buck wild, just trying to find some fresh tracks in some country I haven't hit before. Just desperate to figure out where these bulls are. I'm on a desperate race to find some tracks, and if I can't find any in here, I'll pop over the top and zigzag some of the country I found some fresh tracks in yesterday, right there where me and Matt were picking up those two whites. So that's the game plan for now. I think it's safe to say we've got a coos shed. Yep, got a nice little coos buck shed right up here in the pondies. Not an elk sign. It's a dang nice one. Sweet. Man, we've been lucky enough to get into the coos this trip. Wow. Heavy and bladed, stubby little sucker. That thing is cool. Definitely taking that one out of here. Coos sheds, man, you don't find a lot of them. So you gotta appreciate them when you do. That's a sweet one. See ya. Oh. Compact little guy, huh? Man, there's probably coos deer down here that have never even seen a person. They just die of old age. I don't know how you'd hunt these dang things unless you were in the rut. Maybe still hunting through some of these trees with a bow, but man, these things live in the thickest brush. Pretty sweet one. Man, if I had to guess, this is about the type of sign you want to see if you're going to pick up some browns. They definitely push through here in the snow, which it's melted a lot the last few days, so their poop's on top of the snow. I'd say there has to be a brown in here somewhere. Guys, there is nothing better than making a plan and having it work. There is too many tracks in here not to be a brown. I was convinced, so I zigged, and I either was gonna pop to the next ridge or zag. I decided to zag, and dang, good thing I did, because I got a big old brown right over there. Look at the dark chocolate with a white ivory tip royal. Baby, yes! Holy cow, I needed that. I needed that. I knew something had to be in here. Ah, man, it's busted after the royal. That's still pretty sweet. We have a match to find. I love when you find a big brown single, you know you have a match to find. Yes! Gosh, I knew they were in here, guys. Check that out. What a sight to see. Big old chocolate brown. Man, too bad he's busted. We got some We got some work to do in here, it looks like. Pick this baby up before we go looking for more. Not much to it. It's always a bummer when they're busted after the royal, or busted at all. Just makes them look so much smaller, but would have been a nice little bull. Nothing too fancy, but stoked to find a brown. That always just lets you know there's more right in here to find. So I'm going to drop the pack and zigzag a bunch of this using the Onyx. Just make sure I grit it really good. At least try to turn up the match to this. Look at that thing on his second. Really pretty white burr. Drop the pack right here. Go see if we can find more. Didn't even make it like 50 yards. Look down the hill, big brown. Yeah, that's not the match, guys. We got 2 brown sets in here. Look at that thing. Gorgeous 6-point bull. Holy cow. We found a pocket. We found a freaking pocket, guys. Holy cow, I'm stoked. That thing is sweet. Woo-wee. Look how pretty that is. That is a pretty bull. Little bigger class than this one, which is super exciting. We got 2 matches in here that we need to find, but look how gorgeous that thing is. Wow. Dang, he's got the look. Well, it's not brown, but we've got another nice shed. It's a right side. Pretty dang good looking shed. Came over to the sunny side to see if the elk have been over here. Sure enough, they have. And just walking through this canopy, spotted this. Straight ahead. Looks like it's in good shape too. Hopefully it's not mega old. Yeah, it's in nice shape. Beamy sucker. Huh. So they have shed in here before. Ooh. How about that for a main beam? That antler's in good condition. Might be 2 years old, hanging out down here, but it's really nice, guys. We're packing that to the backpack. Got a bonus shed. The fresh tracks are leading me to where I need to go. It's all paying off. The other side of this got to be somewhere in here close. So I'm going to hit a couple lines on this sunny side, and then I think after that I better get going to the backpack and back to camp to meet up with those guys. Not sure if they went out or not, but I'll tell you what, all it takes is a few hours to make your trip. That's a dang nice shed. I've done some grids below these 2 sheds with no luck, so I think I'm going to grab the pack and actually pull up and grid some of that on the way out. I'd hate to leave a single like this behind, but we got to get going. But figured we'd do the pickup. Ooh. Yes, sir. Pretty bull right there. Got some mud all over his tines. The burr is just pure white, no blood. Nice chocolate brown elk shed. So, pretty sweet, guys. We got 2 brown singles and a big brown 2-year-old. So I'm happy. And if we're lucky, we'll find the match to this on the way out. Or maybe at least something else. Yeah, pretty nice bull. White burr, chocolate brown. Really cool colored highlights on there. Just a pretty bull.
Oh, lizard.
Where'd he go? Oh, there he is.
Larry.
That's Larry.
Ooh. Hell yeah, boy.
Dude,
Dude, that's a stud.
it's a sweet bull.
Believe I could not match them up.
So weird. Oh, it's my match, dog. Dang, it's a stud.
He's pretty, huh?
Yeah, his fronts are cool.
Another
Dang, he's
chocolate
dense,
brown.
dude.
Weird growth. Busted at the beam at the royal. rodents had tried to get after this one. Threw it on my backpack, was like, yeah, what the heck. 50 yards, boom, that one.
Yeah, that's rad.
Like solid on the inside, it was tines down, so like this side's pretty nice and dense. Burr was chewed up.
Big old bird.
Back in that bag again. Whoa, whoa, hey. Back in that, yeah. Tell them to watch it. Now I ain't talking my pockets. Just know we ain't running out the way that we stock it. If I got it, you got it. If I call it, she slide and tell her to
it's not too bad. I think we're got 7 and a couple little coo sheds. So everybody's packed up, ready to go. I'm sure glad I went on that little morning hike. It basically doubled my keeper stack. But I think that's it from our first shed trip.
Okay, thoughts?
Had Casey here, had Logan, Matt, everybody.
Here's my thoughts is to find that. I've said this during this video, but I think a lot of people, including myself, you watch Eric's videos, Shedtour, over the years, and you're like, man, he just finds all of them. He does find a lot of sheds, but it's because he works his ass off. I hiked just over 20 miles and found 4 sheds. This guy probably doubled that in mileage, and that's why he has the backpack full.
How's it look, Logie?
So solid, dude. Look at your shadow.
Yeah, that's a good look.
That's what you
Man,
want.
came from behind. I was getting crushed the first couple days, started getting into them. Yesterday found a brown set, today found 2 more browns. Great trip, loved having these guys here. Can't wait to do it again. I don't know when it'll be, but we got to pull out of here to go do some stuff, actually for our giveaway. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff going on this year. Super excited, hope you guys enjoyed the first episode, maybe even 2. I'm not sure if we're gonna cut these up, but hopefully you guys enjoyed Shedtour. There's many more to come. It's going to be a lot of people that I link up with over the next couple months to find sheds. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one.
Whoa, whoa. Oh, say less. I'm back in that bag again. Yeah, yeah. Oh, say less. I'm back in that. Yeah. What you doing? Yeah, yeah. I'm back in that. Hey, where you going? Hey.